Welcome to Shadowproof. Evidence first, noise last.
Today, let's talk about an urban legend called Kasaragi. This incident occurred in 2004, which is 19 years ago. Japan has a very famous forum called 2channel. Please share unbelievable things happening around you. Below, many people commented, but most were just chatting. However, at 23:14 on the night of January 8, 2004, the 98th message under this post was posted. This message later created one of Japan's most famous urban legends. Sorry, this might just be my hallucination. I just boarded a train from some private railway company. But it feels really strange, because every day I take this train to and from work. Usually, the train stops at a station every 5 minutes, even between major stations, Yet today, 20 minutes have passed, and the train still hasn't. Currently, in the train car, besides me, there are only 5 other people. But they're all Did you get on the wrong train? You were supposed to take a train that stops at stations, but you accidentally boarded it, so it skipped many stops. 15 minutes later, at 23:29, Isabel said, "Maybe I really got on the wrong train. Let me check the situation and report back to everyone." Why Don? You should check the driver. If the driver faints, I went to the front to check. I saw the driver. Like it. I also didn't. Please tell me which train you. I'm on a private railway line in Shizuoka Prefecture, boarded at Shin Hamamadu Station. From these 2 pieces of information, netizens quickly determined that the girl was likely on the Totomi Railway Line in Shizuoka, Japan. This is indeed a private railway line. The main departure station is Shin Hamamadu Station. This railway line has a very long history, having been in operation since 1927. At this point, the girl suddenly realized the train was entering a tunnel. She takes this train to and from work every day, but has never gone through a tunnel. Now she thought, maybe she had passed her stop, because she confirmed this definitely wasn't the wrong train. A while later, the train exited the tunnel and began to slow down. From here, the poster changed her name. Bozan. Katsumi. At 0:23, Katsumi left a message. Now the train has stopped. Stop at Kasaragi Station. They never heard of this station. Should I get off the train? She asked for the netizens' opinions. To you planning to get off? Get off and check it out. Anyway, you Don. D better not get off. Stay on until the last stop. Why get off at a place you Don? I got off the train. This is an unmanned station, no one managing it, and no one got off with me. In Japan, remote areas often have this kind of unmanned station. She said after getting off, she intended to go to the opposite platform to catch a train back, but there was no train schedule on the platform. So she wanted to use her phone to check a return train schedule, but couldn't find the station either. While the girl checked the schedule board, many netizens also helped her look up information online. Just as she was asking everyone whether she should return to the train departed, leaving her alone at the station. It was around 0:30 at that time. I want to emphasize that in 2004, in theory, phones all had photo-taking functions. However, the function to share photos online was basically non-existent. At least on 2channel, this function wasn't available. Therefore, this incident from start to finish didn't leave any photos. Moreover, as I just said, netizens checking this station couldn't find any information. Find it. Even Japan doesn't. 6 minutes later, around 0:36, Kasumi left another message saying, since she couldn't find any information about this train, not on the platform, not inside the station, and couldn't find anyone to ask either. So, she was preparing to leave the station to find a taxi home. She said, "Thank you everyone for your concern." It seemed like she wanted to end the post here. Less than 5 minutes later, at 0:41, Kasumi left another message. They already left the station, forget about taxis, there. A lonely station in the middle of nowhere, what should I do? Call 104, ask for the phone numbers of taxi companies around here. Then request them to dispatch a car for you. About 7 minutes later, at 0:48, Kasumi left a message. I just called home to ask my parents to pick me up. But my parents have never heard of Kasaragi Station. They said they'll check the map and then come find me. I suddenly feel so scared. I'm also checking online. But I can confirm the station name again. In theory, this station should be near Shinabamatsu Station. Let me check on Yahoo. Actually, at that time in Japan, Yahoo was the most used, while Google wasn't very popular yet. There must be a public phone nearby. If there is, there will be a phone directory and you can find taxi company phone numbers in it. About 5 minutes later, at 0:53, Kasumi said, I dawned. And no one else got off the train with me either, now it. The station name is definitely Kasaragi, And then 4 minutes later, at 0:57, suddenly a netizen sent a message that hey everyone pass. I just checked Kasaragi Station. Typing Kasaragi, the result displayed the character for unexpectedly, the character for Oni in Japanese is also pronounced as, and then at 0:59, suddenly someone brought up an issue. Do Japanese station signs show the previous and next stations? Indeed, on Japanese station signs, if it's not the terminal station, they show the previous and next station. Everyone thought, if Kasaragi Station can't be found, then finding the previous and next stations, I roughly know where that girl is now. The result is strange. On the forest signboard at this station, that's only the text, with no instructions before or after it. Then a netizen suggested, anyway, since there's a station, it proves there are people there. Walking along the railway, you'll probably see some shops or something. Katsui said, oh right, I was a bit panicked just now. Now I'll walk back along the railway, and wait for my parents to call in the meantime. I just used the phone's location function to determine my current position, but it showed an error and couldn't locate. She said she really wants to go home. At this point, a netizen asked, isn't there anything around you? What do you mean by nothing? Can you see anything at all? Tell me what you see. A few minutes later, at 1:18, Katsui said, there really is nothing around me. Just endless flower fields and mountains, but I think if I walk back along the railway, I'll definitely get back. I want to try it. Thank you for everyone's concern. Some might think I'm making this up, so I'll stop talking for now. LL ask for everyone. From start to finish. This person spoke very cautiously. From the beginning, it didn't seem like they were fabricating. However, everyone was pushing the story forward. There's a bit of that feeling. Then a netizen messaged, alright, it's okay, you must be careful about safety. When passing through tunnels, be extra cautious. Another netizen said, anyway, there's nothing around. The possibility of the phone suddenly losing could happen. Waiting at the station is still better. But the next day, a netizen countered. The unmanned station, after the last train, the lights all go out. Then it's truly pitch black night. Then the previous netizen message. Wouldn't the railway be even darker then? Waiting for rescue inside the station. Either waiting for long, this is probably the wisest choice. Some netizens reminded her to definitely pay attention to the phone's battery. Perhaps now the phone is your last resort. The time now is 1:30. Katsumi left a message saying that her father had asking again about issues related to the station. He said he couldn't find Kasaragi Station, so he told me to call the police. Katsui said, although I didn't really want to call the police, I still decided to call them for help. After leaving this message, all netizens discussed waiting to see what would happen after Hitsumi. 25 minutes later, at 1:55, Hitsumi said, I've already called 110. Trying my best to explain to the police about my current location. The result was that the police said, the place you mentioned basically doesn't exist. I made a false report. They even scolded me. She said I was already quite scared. With no other choice, I had to clear the phone. Now Hitsumi is walking along the tracks. Netizens asked, what's around you like? Is there really nothing at all? Not even a single identifying feature. At 1:57, Hitsumi said, there's nothing around. But I hear drum sounds. And also bell sounds. A moment later she said again, now I'm getting more and more scared. I don't even dare to look back. I can only run forward at full speed. Netizens left messages. Run faster, don't look back. But some netizens said, you should quickly return to the station. Returning to the station now is the safest. Hitsumi said, I'm very scared, I know. I also want to return to the station. But I really didn't dare to look for the station anymore. And the time then was 2:09. Hitsumi texted saying, I heard a voice. The sound of someone suddenly shouting from a T-walk on the railway tracks in. Hearing this voice, Hitsumi thought it was a station employee or a railway manager. So she immediately turned to look. She discovered about 10 meters away from her turned out to be an old man with only one leg. Just as she wanted to move closer to the old man had already disappeared. At this moment Hitsumi said, I was so scared I didn't dare to move anymore. Some netizens said, now you absolutely try your best to go into the tunnel. Probably that way you'll be fine. 4 minutes later, at 2:13, Hitsumi said, I really can't lift my legs anymore. T-walk, can't. The sound of crutches getting closer and closer. At this point, most people advised her, don't run around randomly. Just stay in the same place and wait for daylight, or try your best to follow the railway tracks. But one netizen messaged, making everyone angry. Hitsumi, you should gather all your courage. This person said, if it's the sound of crutches, there must be some. He didn't say it was a person. He said there's something there. Everyone felt this wasn't a good idea at all, so they all attacked him. But this person said, everyone, don't get agitated. He said looking at Hitsumi's messages, she is no longer in this world now. That's just that she herself doesn't. He told Hitsumi, if you don't realize that you'll die, you won't be able to transcend. So you should accept the truth. This netizen suspected Hitsumi had feeling like she had entered another world. Actually no longer in a world anymore. That's just that she herself still doesn't. So, he is reminding her. At this moment, Hitsumi said, I am definitely still alive. Because I just fell a moment ago. The wound is still bleeding. My shoe heel is also broken. Right now I am holding a shoe heel. I don't want to die. After that, at 2:35, Hitsumi left a message. I just called home. My father said he would call the police. She said Mr. Tong was dead. At this moment, a netizen said, I think you should go to the tunnel as quickly as possible. Getting out of the tunnel should be safe. That is, some people think the tunnel might be something like an important gate separating two worlds. But before you enter the tunnel, remember to look at the name of the tunnel. He said that. Usually there is its name above the tunnel. Knowing this name, we can also locate you more easily. The police also need to locate you. 10 minutes later, at 2:45, Hitsumi said, I finally reached the tunnel. It says Isanuki above. In fact, this tunnel does not exist. She said, the sound is getting closer now. Now I'm about to enter the real tunnel. If I successfully pass through the tunnel, everyone encouraged her to hang in there. And then more than he had said. And she tried her best. Then more than 20 minutes later, meaning it was already 3:10 a.m., she said, I'm about to exit the tunnel. But at the tunnel entrance, I vaguely see a... She said, anyway, I've seen a person, so I feel a bit more at ease. She said she was scared to death just now. Really thank you everyone. At this moment, someone immediately messaged, saying, at this hour, there's someone out standing at the tunnel entrance. Go over there, bit. And then 10 minutes later, 3:20 a.m., Hitsumi messaged saying, this made everyone worried, but he is a kind heart. He said his car had just been refueled. He will drive you to the nearby station. Thank you all very much. At this moment, a netizen spoke up. Ask this person where this is. Katsumi said she had already asked. He said this place is called Hina. I think that Hina is a real station, but also an unmanned station. An extremely small station. But the station she boarded at was Shinoa, over 100 kilometers away. The distance is so far that she found it on the loop. At this point, people started sending messages, mostly warnings about the man who had just appeared, saying that appearing near the railway at this time is definitely not a good person. Must be careful. About 6 minutes later, at 3:37, Katsumi messaged, saying this person is taking her gear to the mountains. He said his car is parked in the mountains. I think they're definitely ISN. I talked to him, but he didn't respond at all. 7 minutes later, at 3:14, my phone's about to run out of battery. I think it. From then on, this man started talking to himself. I don't understand anything he says. In case of emergency, I'll turn off my phone. After this message, until today, 19 years have passed. Katsumi hasn't left any more messages. Katsumi's first message was sent at 23:14 on January 8th. The last message was at 3:14 on January 9th. A total of 4 hours and 30 minutes passed. Of course, after this post, Kasaragi Station immediately became that everyone was searching for this station. But reality has proven, to this day, across all of Japan, there is no station named Kasaragi. However, this incident was not yet over. 7 years after the Kasaragi Station, on March 23rd, 2011. Just 12 days after the Great Eastern Japan, a new post appeared on 2 channel. The post was titled, "A True Horror Story." Under the post, someone left a comment saying that he had also been to Kasaragi Station. This person recounted that 6 years earlier, in 2005, one evening, he took a train from Fukuoka to Kurume. This Kurume is in Kyushu, not in Shizuoka. He said while sitting on the train, he was reading a book very intently. When he looked up, he discovered everyone around him had fallen in. The feeling at that time was very strange. He said, at that moment I had a feeling, as if I was being pulled into another world. Then, looking out the window, he noticed the train was passing over a very old iron. After that, the train stopped at a station. He clearly saw the sign that read, Kasaragi. Unlike Hatsumi's case, he saw the names of the stations before. He said on that sign, the previous station was called Yami, and the next station was Katasu. Yami means darkness, while Katasu's meaning is unclear. Although he really wanted to get off the train to explore, this was not Kurume, his intended destination. Therefore, he did not get off, waiting for the train to continue. He said after a while, the surroundings, everyone seemed to wake up completely. And when the train arrived at the next station, it was indeed his destination. Kurume, not Katasu. Since this post, he will learn more information about the station on June 30th of the same year. That is, June 30th, 2011. Another person left a comment saying that she was an Katsumi from back then, and left the story with an ending. Katsumi recounted that when she and that man went into the mountains, she did indeed get into his car, and he drove straight into the mountains. But not long after they started, suddenly a very strong beam of light appeared, so the car was forced to stop, and he tried to keep driving. When she saw that very strong beam of light, this car had to stop. After the car stopped, the driver started mumbling to himself. She said it was truly terrifying. She saw from within the beam of light a person stepping out, running close to the car she was sitting in, and starting to knock on the car window, making her even more frightened. The person inside the car was mumbling to him. Outside, a stranger was knocking on the person outside said to her, asking why she was here. At this moment, Mitsumi turned her head, and the man driving had disappeared, nowhere to be seen. And so she stepped out of the car. After getting out, the other person said, "Run quickly, run for the light." She was so scared, she just ran for the. When she passed through this light, she discovered she was standing at the train station near her home. It was daytime. And moreover, she appeared in front of her parents. Kitsumi's parents were waiting for her to say, waving and calling, over here, come quickly." After getting in the car, she learned it was now April 2011. 7 years had passed. However, her parents completely did not realize she had been missing. In other words, it seemed she had lost sight. For her, Only a little over 3 hours had passed, but the real world has seen 7 years, she said, whatever happened. She also didn't know. However, thank you all very much. And wish everyone health and wealth. And the fulfillment of wishes. Someone analyzed this message, compared to Hitsumi's previous messages, and discovered that these two messages likely, because all of Hitsumi's previous posts, from start to finish, spanned over 3 hours, hardly used any punctuation. While in this message, quite a lot of punctuation was used. Another difference is the location where the message, for example, even if her friend reported, they should have returned to 2-channel the post. She didn't report her safety on 2-channel, but left a message on another blog instead. Therefore, many suspect that this is not noticing Hitsumi from years ago, and then another 6 years passed. In 2017, a man said he had mistakenly entered Kahasu Station, which is the station right after Kasaragi Station. He was also riding the train, sitting on the train in a daze. And when he opened his eyes, he discovered, on this station signboard, it said Kapasu. He had never heard of this station before, but the feeling on this train was very strange. Occasionally, he also wanted to get off the train, but didn't, and after turning around a few times, he found everything had returned to normal. After feeling like he had returned to the real world, however, he clearly remembered that moment. When he opened his eyes and saw Kahasu's, the currently notable viewpoint suggests this Kasaragi station is either a pure fabrication or a parallel universe. That is, under certain special circumstances, one might step into a parallel space-time, which might only be temporary. Or some might enter and never be able to leave. So once you've entered Kasaragi, how can you survive? And return to real life? People have also summarized, as long as you can do these few things, you'll basically be fine. The first thing is, don't sleep on the train. The second thing is, if you already arrived, whether it's the Katasu or Yami, never go down. Even if you board the ship, don't leave the chicken coop. Also, don't enter the tunnel. If someone talks to you, don't answer. Never turn your head back. Actually, we've talked about similar things before. For example, in mythology, 2 near-death experiences both mention some taboos. As long as you don't do certain things, you can return to the real world. For example, mythology talks a lot, like not turning back to look. If you turn back, you might turn into stone, or something. Or like Japanese mythology emphasizes, once you enter another world, don't eat anything. And you won't be able to return from that world. And in near-death experiences, the most mentioned thing is, don't cross the river. Once you cross the river, you can't return. The river just separates the human world from... Finally, if this matter is purely a creation, I think the level of completion of this work is extreme, controlling many things very well. What do you all think? Do you think Rocky Suragi really exists, or is it just an entertaining story to pass for netizens? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. If you want, you can subscribe to watch the next videos. Or if you have time, you can watch more videos from this channel.
If the proof convinced you, subscribe and open the next case.